with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
All right, this half of the show brought to you by betonline.ag. You can enter podcast one and Geico at geico.com. All right, what do we got, Gina Grad?
Well, Jake Patterson, he is the guy who kidnapped 13-year-old Jamie Kloss and killed her parents in Wisconsin 6 months ago. He pleaded guilty Wednesday to 2 counts of intentional homicide and 1 count of kidnapping. The defendant's father and sister sat in the court as Patterson told the judge that he agreed with and understood the plea that will likely keep him in prison for the rest of his life. Sentencing will be on May 24th.
Yeah, let's kill him.
Yeah.
Why do we have to kidnap? The kidnapping, killing people. What? I imagine you have to do something horrible to them before you kill them. That's why you kidnap them.
Well, from what I remember in the headline, the story was, back a few months ago when this happened, he just kind of scoped her out at a bus stop waiting for a school bus and just decided you're the one, and went back with her, killed her parents.
I'm angry at this guy,
held
not
her
only
hostage.
for the needless and senseless loss of life, but because it sets the movement back. Because all my wife does is watch shows that start with, if it could happen here, it could happen anywhere. And then at some point later in the week, my son will call and he'll go, I'm at Pinkberry. I'm riding my bike home. And she'll go, no, you're not.
Like hell you are.
No, you're like hell you are. I'm getting a medevac unit in there. And he goes, I'm 5 blocks away. The streetlights are going to be on in a scant 90 minutes. You're not coasting home. Because every single show is somebody being abducted.
And this is one of those where there was no connection. He saw her at random, pointed her out, and all hell broke loose.
It's horrible. And again, it's horrible for us folks who live in nice neighborhoods because it could happen anywhere.
And I will say, as someone who's, hippie, liberal, whatever, kill him.
Kill him.
Well said.
I have no problem.
Simply put.
I have no problem whatsoever.
Yeah. And she escaped in this sort of harrowing way and running down the street with basically no clothes on in the middle of the winter and flagged somebody down. I mean, it's horrible. So within,
I like the rare story, and you do hear them every once in a while, where you go like, she was abducted out of her bedroom. She was taken to the woods. She was roped down to the ground with tent stakes. She was able to escape. She worked herself loose by chewing through one of the knots. She ran out on the highway, half naked, jumped into a van, and the driver raped her. Like every once in a while, it's like, what? There's another rapist just driving down the highway.
Yeah, or if you are that girl and you're in the middle of the highway and you're running down the highway, you're barefoot, you're in a slip, you're covered in mud and grime, there's ropes dangling from your feet. You can hear the guy chasing you in a van with women coming around. No, it's okay. No, it's all right. I'm good. Don't get in a van.
I would feel that way if I saw an ice cream truck based out of L.A.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm fine.
That guy's, look, he's got a machete. I got a head start. I'm going to risk it.
By the way, the best part of this story that I loved from way back was they were some company was putting up, a big reward for whoever saves her. And there was this big petition.
We're showing a picture of an L.A. ice cream truck I pulled up next to in front the other day. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Good God.
You'd never get into that. Sorry.
Basically, they were going to put up a reward for whoever saved her, and they were convinced to give her the reward since she saved herself. Mm-hmm. That was pretty great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How much, I wonder?
Was it $25,000? It was around there.
No, so after taxes, she'll keep about $3,500.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of makes me think it was staged, but go ahead.
You bring up an interesting point. She really didn't have to risk a lot.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, well, within the span of a few hours on Tuesday, UFC fighter Conor McGregor announced his retirement from the octagon just as reports were released that he's under investigation for sexual assault. These headlines were pretty much right on top of each other. McGregor was accused of the assault in December and arrested in January, and the alleged attack took place in a hotel in Dublin. Now, although Irish media have been reporting on the story for months, Irish law bars media from naming a suspect in sexual assault cases. It might be why we're just kind of hearing about this now. But before announcing his retirement...
Because normally they're clergy.
Right. Before announcing his retirement on Monday, McGregor told The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon, he was in the process of negotiating a potential return to the Octagon in July. And meanwhile, there are rumors that he was about to get banned because of this and because of shenanigans. So he's getting out in front of it. Who knows?
You know, there's this kind of this. Obviously, they burn very bright in the UFC, but they burn out. You know, they can burn out quickly. And Conor was, you know, the face of the sport and everything. But what'll kind of ruin it is if you run into Habib Nurmagomedov or what's his name? He'll find it. Anyway, you run into a guy, and it's not that you're not a good fighter. He's just unbeatable, the guy you run into, and there's no appetite to see you guys fight again because he's just going to beat you again.
Get it, yeah.
And now you go from rock star to guy who just isn't going to get past this guy.
Nurmagomedov.
Thank you. And Habib
Nurmagomedov
is not a rock star. He's just a guy you can't get past.
Right.
And now we kind of lose our appetite for it.
Yeah, we get it.
Weird
we
position.
Know. Yeah.
I also think of the poor young lady who took a self-defense class.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
attacked. And then it's Conor McGregor.
She's used to. There's the guy in the full hockey goalie outfit, and he's lumbering toward her with a Bataka bat. She gives a ki and a knee to the groin, and the guy folds like a burrito and lands on the ground. Yeah, not as effective with Conor.
Oh, man.
Right.
The odds. Well, some sad Wendy Williams news now. Remember,
Wendy O. Williams of the Plasmatics?
No, Wendy Williams of the Wendy Williams talk show.
Then I'm not
You're
interested.
out. Not Wendy O, who wore electrician's tape over her nipples.
No, but yeah, and she did a string of like B movies of like light porn.
They had songs. They had Sex Junkie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They had A Pig is a Pig, and that's that.
Kid song.
They were the Plasmatics, man.
They were the Plasmatics. I saw the Plasmatics at Perkins Palace when Mark Garagos was the promoter for Perkins Palace in like 1981.
A small world.
She's crazy, right?
She was so also God bless her.
Oh, Master Plan.
She was the poster child for City Miles. Oh Lord.
I'd like to hear Master Plan. That was a good punk song.
I remember seeing her in some like prison girl booby movie.
Yeah. It was back when guys were so hard up for boobies that all you had to do is work like, you know, Debs behind bars or whatever, just something in prison behind bars, Caged Heat, you know, whatever it is. And you just have to go see it.
Yeah.
Like you would go see C or B or D list movies in the theater because you saw side boob.
Yeah.
Right.
Master Plan. Plasmatics, man.
Master Plan.
Oh, she had the voice of an angel.
Yeah. She really.
Master Plan.
She looked like old homeless Dennis the Menace.
Yeah. She was called the Anne Murray of chicks who can't sing. That was sort of her nickname.
She would go on stage and bite the head off a snowbird. So, Gina, what happened to her?
She's not doing well.
I was permanently sexually scarred at the Plasmatics concert because I worked my way down to Perkins Palace with me and my buddy Rain. We worked our way down to the mosh pit in the front. I feel like we don't need the word mosh and mash. I feel like you're mashing into people. Why are we calling it the mosh? It should be the mash pit. Yeah, anyway. Go down there, and the guitar player, the bass player, is wearing a tutu, and he's wearing fishnet stockings and Doc Marten boots because it's punk rock, right? And the guy's playing his bass, and he's like 6'4" and 195, and he's got his one Doc Marten perched up on the feedback amp, and the other's on the floor, and I'm in the mosh pit. The mosh pit stage comes up about 5 foot, so it's at your chin. I'm right underneath this guy looking up, and he's got one nut. One nut has found its way outside of the tutu and is pushing through the fishnet stockings as he placed master plan on the base.
His tutu has been reduced to a 1-2.
The 1-2, and I just looked up, and I was just staring at the one nut pushing like it was Play-Doh that got a little too hard, and they had the extruder out, and it was just like, ah! Just like, oh, he's wearing a tutu and fishnets. That's him. Yeah, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, Wendy Williams says, the lead singer just comes out with topless with this duct tape on her boobs, and then she comes out and you go, who else is in the band?
She died at age 48.
Oh, no.
Well, who...
Gina, what's the news story then?
I mean,
Again, not doing
her
well.
and Huel are probably having a lovely conversation in heaven
wow.
right now.
You know, you can also use duct tape to keep someone from screaming.
Yeah, I know.
How did she die? I'm going to guess drugs.
Wendy Williams.
Yeah,
48. Yeah.
No, let me guess.
suicide.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to say a tree fell on her while hiking
Taking in the scenery.
out in nature.
Yeah.
Well, that's sad. Suicide's no good.
I kind of like master plan. You got a sex junkie.
Apparently, she had a different master plan than the one we were thinking.
It was weird, too, because I was like in high school. I was like 16. It's like, your first name is Slut and your last name is Sleaze. You're a sex junkie. You'll do as I please. And then she would scream harder, faster. Yeah.
Remember the song? I think it was Soft Cell, Sex Dwarf?
Yeah, sex dwarf. Yeah.
Just imagine the guy writing the lyrics just up at night and at his garret, a table with a bottle of wine with a candle in the top. He's trying sex dwarf. What? Sex dwarf, sugar and something.
Forgot about sex dwarf. All right, sorry.
All right. So the other Wendy Williams.
Wendy Williams.
So she came on, a couple weeks ago and said that she has been living in a sober house and she's trying to deal with her struggles with addiction. Well, she reportedly fell off the wagon after learning that her husband's alleged mistress has given birth. The talk show host was found drunk on Monday after fleeing her sober home in Queens, according to Page 6. Wendy was taken to the hospital. She was given IV fluids. A source said Wendy's
How old is Wendy?
Mid-50s?
Okay, so I have this theory, and I feel it. I understand it. Like, I get it, but I'm curious about it.
54.
54. And I've expressed it before, but Dana, I'd like you to weigh in.
I'm here.
When I was a kid, my parents' friends, whoever they were just locked off. Like, oh, that's Emery Kenrick. He's an architect. He wears a sweater and smokes a pipe, and he wears his hair in the same style. It's not like next time I saw him, he had a neck tattoo and an earring. He was introducing me to his lady friend. And I see so many people mid-50s, like the window for alcoholism or pills or going nuts or whatever plan you have. The window was like 17 to 27, but it wasn't in their 50s. Nobody changed their look. No one pulled up on a Harley. Nobody did anything. You were just locked off.
Your midlife crisis was a quiet internal affair.
Right. That's it. That's as far as it got. Yes, your midlife crisis was you going with a pastel on your cardigan versus beige or brown.
Yeah.
And that was it. And now these people are just having this complete renaissance. I don't mean a good way, but I mean, first off, there's this sort of D.L. Hughley part where you turn into Malcolm X, like in the middle of your life, like you just become a different human being. Then there's the one where you're getting strung out on this. Or how about the people that are like, people in their late 60s are getting divorced after 41 years of marriage. Like, you're getting divorced in your 60s?
That's
like,
allowed?
Tattoos in your 50s? Like, and people are going crazy now. Now, what is it?
I was talking to a friend of mine this morning. Her grandfather can't meet anybody on Tinder because he's in his 80s and he put the cutoff in the 60s. I'm not lying.
Wow.
It's just like, you don't have teeth. You're not meeting anybody on Tinder.
Wow.
Well, what if we modify it and go
to Wrinkle or whatever that.
Only,
come on.
Only people who are in their 40s and the 60s can make the cut. That would work. Are we talking about the unknown comic's grandfather? Or is this another dude?
This is a young lady, a friend of mine.
So we're taking this crazy behavior of addiction and tattoos and divorce and all the stuff that was at a young, you got out of your system by 35. We're just carrying it off to the grave.
Yeah, but I would say just a slight modification in something like this is maybe back in the day, you wouldn't move mom into a sober house. She would just kind of drink herself to death early.
Yeah.
Yes, with dignity. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Quiet
That was
you
my
brought
point.
that up.
That was my point. Well, Kate Beckinsale is speaking up about her relationship with Pete Davidson and the media's interest in it. The 45-year-old actress tells the LA Times she doesn't understand why people are so fascinated. She says, I've never been in this position before, never dated anybody who comes with their own bag of mischief. It's all quite shocking and something to get used to.
Now, is she talking about his nutsack?
Yeah, that's what he calls it, his bag of mischief.
Oh, okay.
And she insists that she's not interested in the media attention. She says, if that were the main thrust of the relationship, there would be a problem. But it's not. I'd rather not have people hiding outside my house. It's a little old-fashioned to have a woman's personal life looked at like that. It's a little bit tired.
Clearly, the main thrust of the relationship is when I was a child, I wanted to bone Danny O'Day, the ventriloquist dummy, and this is as close as I'll get.
All right. Does she have kids that are older
She
or
does.
old enough to be humiliated? You know how you're old enough to know better? Now there's old enough to be humiliated by your goddamn mom?
Doesn't
we
she
know.
have-
Let's just say that we all know one thing: this is going to end well.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be awesome. Doesn't she have a daughter that's like 20?
How old is Pete Davidson?
26. Right. The notion...
Well, a lot of people. Let me speak up and let me be supportive now. A lot of people. You're a kid. Did you ever watch those Tarzan movies when you were a kid with
Sure.
Johnny Weissmuller?
Yeah.
And you would think, I want a chimp.
Yeah, I would think that.
That was really supportive.
She might have had the same
Oh,
thought.
I see. She was a Tarzan fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she liked,
Yeah.
Bubbles.
I just don't. I feel bad for the kids because they're old enough to know, and then there's the obviously adult ex-husband who has to go like,
Grubble, grubble. Well, what about Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher and Bruce Willis and that kind of love triangle that everyone seemed super cool?
I know. It's this new thing where.
But Ashton Kutcher's like seems like a normal dude.
Indiana boy.
You might not be a fan, but looks like, you could have a conversation with him. You trust him to drive your kid to the mall and back.
It's all like it's the Gwyneth Paltrow.
Isn't
Not just
Pete
uncoupling.
Right.
famous for being a little unhinged? Isn't that
Part of the allure?
I think so. Or getting weird tattoos that he's going to regret, or looking like a young Steve-O. My feeling is I'd just prefer he be funny. And we could leave it at that.
Yeah, he sort of got. It's sort of, if I may say, it's sort of a cross between Jerry Lewis and Wendy Williams. The look that he has going.
Wow.
Very true. Yeah. He's 25. He's not even 26. I don't know why didn't we all think he was 26?
I
Or
said
is that just
26.
me? Or I'd heard that or something. But anyway, here we go.
All right. Well, some sad news. Art Alexakis, very cool guy, Everclear frontman. He's revealed that he's been living with multiple sclerosis for over a decade. He's been clean and sober for close to 30 years, and he wrote that one reason he finally wanted to go public was because he was hearing rumors that he was drinking or on drugs because people have seen him look very unsteady on stage and around town.
He was in here not too long
yeah,
ago.
he was.
A couple, 2-3 years ago?
A year ago.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He said he discovered he had the disease when he was in a car accident 3 years ago, and he began to feel a little tingling and numbness. He went for an MRI, thinking he just had a pinched nerve, but they discovered much more. Since he's diagnosed, Alexakis has continued to tour heavily, both with Everclear and solo. He says he'll release his first solo album called Sun Songs early this summer.
Boy, you want to talk about a guy who did not benefit from white privilege. That is Art Alexakis from Everclear.
Everything wasn't handed to Art?
Woo! Does that guy? I mean, he's white, no doubt, but almost no privilege in that guy's background. Crazy broken family and alcohol abuse and physical or maybe sexual abuse and like going dad, horrible, like just a horrible background.
A Job-like life.
Yeah, but good for writing songs.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess as Dad would
that's-
say, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more, Gina Grad.
All right. Well, some big news for dinosaur fans. Paleontologists in Canada have discovered the largest Tyrannosaurus rex fossil ever.
Ooh, I'm into that.
Yeah, the massive prehistoric animal named Scotty, they named him, was about, do you want to guess how big and how much he weighed, or do you want me to tell you?
The part, they found a part.
Yes.
And they know it's from that breed of dinosaur, but what part did they find?
They started finding him in 1991, and they have been digging him up for 28 years. This is a lot of dinosaur.
It's a weird thing, because it's a weird relationship, because we go, a T-Rex stood 31 feet tall and weighed over 70 tons, and you go, this one was 34 feet tall, and you go, all right, it's kind of difference between a guy's like 5'11". This guy's 6'1.5". Like, okay,
all right,
he's sort of bigger. He's a little bigger.
Yeah.
Like we do that with great white sharks all the time. An 18-foot great white. This one's 19.5 feet. Like it's like okay, it's a little bigger.
They're all big.
A little bigger. They're all big.
Well, I'll give you the dimensions. They say he was about 42 feet long, weighed about 10 tons, and judging by the growth pattern of the bones, he was a fighter. He had a lot of scarring and a broken jaw and all kinds of stuff. He's believed to have died
He's been in a scrap or two.
Yeah, 28 years old, and roamed the earth about 66 million years ago, and he'll go on display in Saskatchewan.
At some point, he's going to get wrapped up in the whole Me Too movement. They're going to go, well, he wasn't fighting all the boys. There were a couple of lady dinosaurs he got into it. And we're going to take the bones down from the Smithsonian, and we're just going to go ahead and hang a tarp over this, put there.
Yeah.
We'll put a sea turtle there. He was struggling with his sexuality.
Fortunately, they found traces of mace around his eyes.
Yeah, so...
There was a struggle.
I know we started to take a deep dive with yearbooks, but now we're going back to different eras.
Yeah.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Taking a super deep dive into history.
Finally, we can use Recently Unearthed.
Yes, recently unearthed. Yeah. It won't be footage of the man show. It'll be actually unearthed.
Yeah, unearthed bones. Almost 30 years to dig this up. I mean, that's, I don't know how, that's somebody's whole career.
Well, you know it's bad when someone tells you to dig and then hands you a toothbrush, and you go like, what? Yeah. And you're like, I thought it was going to be like a chipping hammer and 3 Mexicans. No.
Dig
just
up this
toothbrush.
10-ton animal.
Take it easy.
Teaspoon.
Look, if you want a little help, we got a guy with a Q-tip. He can back you up. Like, just get a flathead shovel, right?
No. Compressed air, too much.
You really think you're going to hurt a dinosaur that's already dead? You tell me how much damage. Physically, emotionally?
It makes a good point.
I feel like the attrition rate has to be like through the roof. Like the first 15 minutes of the site, you know, the bones, and you're down there and you got your pith helmet on and you got your little brush and you're like brushing. But after about 4 hours of that, you're like... Yeah, there's got to be a kookaroo around here somewhere. I'm going on a run, and you just keep driving, right?
Yeah. After about 4 hours, I'll be like, the Bible does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. I am kind of a flat earther, so I mean, would this fit with my narrative? Or
Can't believe we're digging this in 200 years ago. This thing roamed the earth. Hard to believe.
Yeah. Ooh, the website for your friend's grandpappy.
Exactly.
Carbon dating.
That's where they can go. Beautiful.
Carbon dating.
Wow.
Bang!
That's genius.
Come on now.
Bang!
Bang.
Hashtag
Big bang.
TM.
Sorry.
Come on now.
Oh, no pun intended.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
They're, by the way, my
Viagrasaurus Rex.
Yeah.
Easy.
My move with carbon dating is I would have one I wouldn't know how I wouldn't ask your age, I wouldn't ask your height or your weight or anything. If you get the reference to carbon dating, I want no part of you. You have to be confused by the name of the site, and now it's on.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I roll sexually.
Why carbon dating? You're in.
You're in.
Must
Good.
have something to do with the environment.
Good. Perfect. All right.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, the website for mature adults or
like
seniors or whatever. Mm-hmm. All right. One more, Gina.
All right. Well, when actor Taron Egerton signed on to play Elton John in the biopic Rocket Man,
ooh, I'm into it.
He says he was given license to go and make him look very ugly at times. Last week, during a sneak preview of the film's highlights in London, he said the movie begins with Elton marching into rehab in a real bad way. We learn about his life from him recounting his experiences from the recovery room. Director Dexter Fletcher, are you familiar with him, Brian?
He took over Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, okay.
And he also directed Eddie the Eagle.
Oh, okay. Well, he says that Elton has always been very honest and open about his life. He has nothing to hide. That's part of the strength of the film. It's not self-serving in that way.
I have a question about something you brushed over because it wasn't important, but did it say that a premiere of the film's highlights?
Highlights, like scenes from.
Probably
That's
for,
a
like,
bad
It's
sign.
not a good sign.
Not a good sign.
Or sure it wasn't for
We're
exhibitors.
not going to show you the whole film. Here are the music parts. Here are the parts you're going to enjoy.
The concert footage.
Well,
Are you sure it wasn't like for exhibitors, like show, whatever they...
Even still.
well,
Even still, that's not a
so
good sign.
there's couple versions of this. Like if you go to Rotten Tomatoes and there's a movie coming out on Friday and you go there Wednesday evening and it's a no score, bad. All right, that's
Right.
always bad. It's 50 or below because they
wouldn't
gladly
let
show
anyone.
it to you when they're proud of it.
Yeah.
But if the thing doesn't come out for 4 months, then there's something. But I don't
It's soon.
know.
No, it actually comes out soon.
May 31st.
Yeah.
It's still far enough.
But I've been
out.
seeing trailers for
Does
it.
it look
I
bad?
like
I'm
when you
selling
go
my
to...
stock.
But we've had this experience, too, like a movie that everybody goes like, ugh, and then you go and like, oh, that was great.
Yeah.
There's totally a chance this could be good. There's totally a chance.
But I remember that this is a deep. Remember the Benicio del Toro, The Wolfman?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, everybody hated that movie.
Yep.
And I went to that movie and I thought, what does a movie called The Wolfman need to have for you to like it?
Just The Wolfman.
This had everything. It was
Yeah.
a guy became a wolf. At one point, he slapped a guy's head off.
Yeah.
It's like, this movie has everything I want.
I think it was up for an Oscar too,
It
like
was
for
like-
makeup.
but people hated them. Like it's fun. It's like when people don't like. Oh, I didn't like the end of Skyfall. It's a James. But what?
Yes.
He's a shooting and a beautiful woman and a cool car. That's
it. That's what you're there for.
This movie delivers its promise.
And also the Wolfman from the 50s. Where's the bar set at? You know, it's not like it was such a classic, the original
Well,
one.
you're hurting Dana's feelings.
Well, what
1941. It doesn't matter. Who's counting, right?
Sorry.
Why is Don Knotts defending a movie? That was 1941. Everybody knows.
So, could be bad, but maybe, unfortunately, Brian, go down the Bohemian Rhapsody alley, which is, the songs were so great, we loved it. When you'll still go, bad movie, good song.
I'm hoping it's good. I want to love this movie, but I don't get good vibes.
Will it be? I
Did
think
you
the
like
test
Bohemian
is,
Rhapsody?
Is I? It was nowhere near one of the best pictures of the year.
I think Brian agrees with me. When I saw it, I said, this is a good TV movie.
I watched it at home on television, and I thought it was very enjoyable. I thought he was great.
Enjoyable. Very
There it
much
is.
so.
Yeah,
Yes, you
I
can
thought
enjoy
it was great. It's odd movie to be sponsored by Invisalign. I didn't understand that connection.
It is a interesting, I think the distinction between enjoyable and a good movie or the best movie of the year category.
Oh.
I perfectly enjoyed it as well. I didn't think it was a great movie, but
You know what's
I enjoyed it.
enjoyable too? We're talking about a lot off the air is the Dirt, the Motley Crue movie. Enjoyable. I don't know how good it is, but you will enjoy the hell out of it.
Where is it?
It's on Netflix.
Netflix?
Yeah.
I'll look for it.
I think the test with this will be, is it better or worse than that Elton commercial that everybody went insane over with the piano?
Through the years.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad. Yeah, I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gyno dogs.
That was the news with Gina Grad.